Have you ever felt that jolt of pure panic when someone asks you to say a few words? Well, what if I told you the secret to absolutely crushing those moments isn't some kind of magic, but a simple set of tools? In this explainer, we're opening up a toolkit that can really transform public speaking from something you fear into your own personal superpower.
You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. Someone asks for your opinion, and your mind just goes completely blank. It's like a total system crash for your brain. But what if you could reboot it in just a few seconds?
Here's the good news. Going from that panic to total poise, it isn't about natural talent. It's really just about having a plan. So first, we're going to tackle those surprise, on-the-spot moments. Then, we'll dive into how to structure a really clear explanation when you actually have some time to prepare.
Okay, first up, the public speaking ambush. This is for all those times when you get zero warning and you need to sound brilliant, like right now.
You know, the secret here is not about being perfect. It's about being prepared with a mental framework. The goal is clarity, not perfection. So think of these next few frameworks as like cheat codes for your brain.
So let's say you're asked for your opinion and you need to make a strong argument fast. What's your secret weapon? It's the PREP framework.
The power of this thing is its simplicity. Seriously, you state your point, you give a solid reason, you provide a specific example to make it real, and then you restate your point to really drive it home. Point, reason, example, point. It's this clean, memorable, and just incredibly effective little loop.
But what if you need to be a little more persuasive? Maybe you need to convince a colleague or, win a friendly argument. For that, the Oreo method works wonders.
Now, this looks a lot like prep, right? But notice the subtle shift here. By framing your main idea as an opinion, you're inviting a discussion instead of just declaring a fact. You give your opinion, you provide a reason, you back it up with an example, and then you circle right back to your opinion. It's a classic persuasion technique.
Okay, now imagine you're in a meeting and you need to sound super sharp, super analytical. To add that extra layer of credibility, you can pull out the TEEL framework. With TEAL, you introduce your topic, you explain it, and then, and this is the key, you provide hard evidence. Now, this could be data, a quote, a specific fact, whatever. Finally, you link it all back to the main idea. That little evidence step, that's what gives your argument some real weight and credibility.
All right, so we've handled the impromptu ambush. But what about when you do have time to prepare? Well, the secret to a great explanation isn't just what you say, but how you structure it. And that all starts with knowing what kind of speech you're actually giving.
Turns out pretty much any informative speech you give is going to fall into one of these four categories. You're either talking about objects, processes, events, or concepts. So why does this even matter? Because knowing your speech type is what helps you pick the right blueprint to build it.
Once you know your speech type, you can match it to the absolute perfect organizational pattern. Think of these 5 blueprints as the architectural plans for a clear and, most importantly, memorable message.
This is the architecture of your entire talk. You can walk your audience through time, group ideas into categories, connect to cause and effect, take them on a physical tour, or present a really compelling problem and its solution. You see, the right structure is like giving them a clear roadmap for their minds.
And this right here, this is the magic formula. Matching the right pattern to the right type of speech. It's like using the right key for the right lock. Let's look at how this actually works with a couple of quick examples.
Okay, first up, let's say you need to explain a process. This could be anything from baking a cake to how a piece of software works. You're basically just explaining a series of steps. So what's the most logical and natural fit for that? The chronological pattern, of course. It arranges your information by time or by sequence, creating this natural, super easy to follow flow.
A speech on how a bill becomes a law is the perfect example of this. You start with the proposal, you move to the vote, and you end with the signature. It's intuitive, it's crystal clear, and your audience never, ever gets lost.
Okay, but what if your topic is a bit more abstract? I mean, how do you explain a concept like justice or innovation? That can be pretty tricky.
Well, for a lot of these abstract concepts, the problem-solution blueprint is an incredibly effective way to make the whole idea concrete. So, for example, instead of just defining academic dishonesty, you frame it. First, you outline the problem, what it is and why it's a big deal. And then you present the solution, how we can actually address it. This makes that abstract idea feel tangible, and it's so much easier for people to grasp.
So whether you're caught completely off guard or you've been preparing for weeks, there is one powerful thread that ties all of these tools together.
And the ultimate takeaway is this. Confidence isn't something you're just born with. It's something you build. And you build it with structure. These blueprints, these frameworks, they are the source of real confidence because they give your brain a clear path to follow, even when you're under pressure.
With these simple but really powerful tools, you are always prepared. You can turn any moment of panic into an opportunity for clear, confident communication. So the only question left is, what will you build with your words?